Gang, gang. One 100 years of awful. Welcome to the Dark Future. Share that show. Everything's running 100% on my end. I don't know what to tell you. Guys, I need you to share that show. We need more butts and seats, guys. Come on. Fucking 9,000 people watch Revenge of the Sis. Let's get some more butts and seats here, right? Podgods. Hashtag Podgods. Starting in 2 seconds. Come on. When I say 2 seconds, I mean that figuratively. A figurative 2. We starting, baby. Type 9/11 in the chat room if you think Israel did it. And also if you want the show to start. Either one. If you want the show to start or you think Israel did it, type 9/11 in the chat. Do not Google dancing Israelis. Don't do it. Almost 20 years. Isn't that crazy? 9/11, almost 20 years ago. We're only 2 years away. A lot of 9/11s in that chat. I don't know. You guys seem very anti-Semitic. Okay, well, there you go. Let's, do you want to do a show? It looks like everybody wants to do a show. I tell you what, let me, hang on a second. Let me just get ready here.
You are entering another internet. An internet
Mom!
not only of bullying and meanness, but of wrath.
Mom! Get out of the basement, Mom! Mom! 9/11. Yo, what up, y'all? Welcome to 9/11. This is Sweden's #1 techno show, 9/11. 9/11.
Yeah, everybody, welcome to 9/11. Sweden's #1 techno show.
Blessed Jesse.
Jews did the Holocaust. I do think the Holocaust is an inside job. That makes sense to me. All right, I think you fuckers are ready. I'm going to give you guys a show. You've earned it. You guys, you earned it, okay? I love you. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hit that like. Blast that like in its little butt. Tight little butthole. No ads, no masters. I am become death, destroyer of worlds. Wow. Okay, so I'm sure you guys have it the same way. My entire timeline, all my social media is filled up with everyone I know turning trans, apparently. I guess you guys are trans now. You already know what I'm talking about. You're probably even guilty of this. And if you are guilty of this, give me a hell yeah, okay? Because I'm, of course, talking about those new Snapchat filters. All right. Everybody seems to be doing this. Now, me, I don't open Snapchat anymore. The second I saw this, I went, this sounds like a scheme to turn me gay. And I ain't falling for it. But all of you guys, you're falling for it. Everybody I know is falling for Snapchat's mischievous ways, trying to turn you into the opposite gender. And it is working, man. I accidentally opened Snapchat one time. You know, I forgot. I got a message from somebody on Snapchat, so I go to open it, and I go, oh, shit, I'm in. And I'll tell you this, I was tempted. I get it. I get the temptation. But let me tell you what I did, okay? I open up the app. I go check the notification. Then I go to the camera. I go, let me just see where it is in here. Now, I'll tell you this. The first one is the guy filter. There's a guy filter and a lady filter. If you don't know what we're talking about here, Snapchat will change your face with filters into looking like a lady or looking like a guy. But if you're already a guy, what happens? Well, I'm going over. I see the man one. I go to the man one. I make myself double masculine. Now, for those who may not realize this, I was actually born trans. I was born double masculine. It actually says on my ID card, MM. Always has. A couple weeks ago, though, here on the show, I devised a helmet. I made this helmet to turn myself gay and trans, right? And you guys watched me put on the helmet and turn trans, and I turned into a lady. And I thought it was a permanent change. It turns out it's not. I'm just too much of a fucking man for that. I really am. My dick, it's unstoppable. And I fucking mean that, women. It's unstoppable, okay? Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, try to stop it. You can't. Nothing, no amount of estrogen, no amount of HRT could ever make my dick shrivel up and go away or whatever the fuck happens to trans people. I don't know. It was a very temporary situation, but because I was born double masculine, boom, it came right back. So I throw on that Snapchat filter. I never went to the lady one. I'll never know what I look like as a woman. A lot of you guys think I look like a woman. You're wrong. You're fucking wrong. This long hair, this showed up because of the helmet. I didn't have long hair before the helmet. Anyway, the point is, to make myself even trans for a second, what I did was I utilized the power of the internet. I've realized over time from doing this show that the internet turns you trans. There's some sort of magic formula, some sort of mathematical equation out there where the internet can turn you trans. To harness that power, I tapped directly into the servers of reddit.com and tapped those into the helmet and zapped them into my brain until I'd uploaded so many puppers and woofers straight into my neocortex that I did temporarily become a woman. Now that I've shaken that off and I have my senses about me again, and of course I'm back to being MGTOW for life, straight up woman-hating, goddamn, hell yeah, misogynist all the way, He-Man Woman Haters Club. Now that I'm back to that, I realize exactly what that algebra equation is. I know the secrets behind the internet, and I know the weird things it's doing to you to make you think it's a good idea for me to go onto Snapchat, see what I look like as a woman, and not just keep that as a private, weird fucking little thing to myself. Like that one time when I was a little kid, I was 6 years old, and I went into my mommy's closet, and I tried on her high heel shoes, and I walked around holding a dress up in front of me saying, look at me, I'm the mommy now. No, instead, I'm going to share it with everyone, not just my social media timeline, but everyone, because I've got all my shit on public. I know the secret. And of course, patient zero is a man named Chris Chan, someone we've talked about recently on the show, the internet's first goon. Do you want to know? Does anybody want to even try to tell me how you go from being Chris Chan into being what he is now today? In other words, how do you go from this?
That would be peanuts. Also, keep in mind that while you're playing with these things, you should keep in mind of what your true original gender is. Because it's like you're learning about that girl you want to take on a date, young man. Or likewise, you feel more comfortable to approach that boy just saying hello that you've been checking out from a distance, young lady. And hopefully in due time or now, each and every one of you will stay straight. You know, girl for boy, boy for girl. Everything else is vice, as said by Dr. Kinsey. Not just for me, not for the big man upstairs, not for your family, but do it for yourself and for the benefits of everyone in the future.
How do you go from that to this?
Would you fuck me, 789 Chan? I'd fuck me.
The world may never know.
John is doing it right. Pod awful suck, you faggot. Bud boy. You scam artist, douchebag. You're the worst, motherfucker. Just give up. You fucking little piece of shit.
You're crazy. You're sick of your head.
Fucking dweeb, faggot, jackass. Pod awful sucks. You know what? You're not funny. I want to really kick your ass.
My mom doesn't like it when I mention Pod Awful anymore.
All right, we're bullying the internet. This is Pod Awful. Let me get rid of my trans helmet here. I hope you don't mind. Welcome, Pod Awful. I'm your host, Jesse P.S. You can friend me on Facebook. And please, if you do, make sure you do not have pictures of you as a trans woman or a trans man on there, or a trans am for that matter. Thunderbird, fine though. Please friend me on Facebook and join our Facebook cult, podawful.com/cult. Are you guys familiar with the Pod Awful cult?
And all I just said is I thank Dad for making me strong.
Join our cult on Facebook. podawful.com/cult.
So, as many of you know, Chris Chan, my first foray into goons when I was just a boy. I've been following Chris Chan since I was a very young man. And it shocked me in 2014, when Chris truly and finally came out as trans. For a while, he was telling people he was a tom girl, which isn't how that works. I'm not sure tom girl is even a thing. Tomboy, sure. You don't get to be a tom girl. You know, he hated gay people. He hated hermaphrodites. He hated trans. And then he became the thing he hated. We're going to delve into the mind of of Chris Chan, how that could happen, and the other goons of Pod Awful, the Gooniversity. We're going to delve into all of that tonight on the show and try to figure out the mathematical equation together. I think I've cracked the case, but it'll be easier to figure it out with you guys out there at home. We are live as we are every Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time over at podawful.tv. Got the live video stream, and of course we have, ladies and gentlemen, the chat room. Let's say hi to the chat, see what they're saying in there. He was a tom-tom, says HC Frick. Yeah. Christine Chan. He is now, she is, oh my God, if I don't get these pronouns right, I'm going to be arrested by YouTube again. She is now Christine Weston Chandler. And please do not get it wrong. I've heard Tom Girl before. Have you, Heisenberg? Have you heard it about yourself? Were you posting Snapchat selfies? How many of you guys in the chat room have done this Snapchat selfie thing? I really do think this is a problem. You really will not find me doing that picture to myself. If you find any pictures of me like that on the internet, it was someone else. It was not me. I would never do that to you guys. I would never make you think twice about me in that way. But have you guys been walking around with that Snapchat thing? Because I was shocked. I was shocked when so many members of the cult were doing it. Our Facebook group were doing it. It was weird to me, especially certain members where I'm like, don't you know we're going to mock you for this? That's what we do. It's pod awful. Come on, man. You got to figure these things out. Didn't do it. Not gay, says Gianator. Nope, never. No, never, says Aaron and Rob. Scam Likely says, respect Chris's oh my God, we will go over that. Don't worry, Scam Likely. Yeah, he wants me to bring up, of course, how Chris turned himself trans. And he did it by making what he calls an unclit. An unclit. Okay? Now, don't ask me why he calls his money his tugboat. I can't explain why an autistic man calls anything he calls things. You know, I mean, anything he might say could be, it's all up for interpretation. But he tried to make himself trans by forming what he calls an unclit, which was essentially just tearing open his taint and leaving it a rotting, infected wound. If you are much braver than I am, feel free to venture out into the wilds of the internet and find photos of that yourself. I will not be sharing those here. Trollita says, ew. I'm more of a TikTok trans, says King. Look, King Amon, I know what you mean. More of a TikTok trans. They've got the filters over on TikTok as well. We do love TikTok here. TikTok, a bastion of AU gold and of goonery. And we will be talking about one of the kings of TikTok tonight, who is actually now a queen of TikTok. That's right. Again, we will be going over many, many trans goons tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. He cut his own dick off. I don't think he cut his dick off. I think you know what? I was actually thinking about this yesterday. I was looking into the Chris stuff one more time to prep for the show, lowercase r. And I realized, you know why I don't believe that there's any sort of scientific anything surrounding transgenderism, sexual reassignment, whatever. By the way, feel free to go, if you're an adult, please go lop off your dick, become a trans person. I don't care. All right? I really don't. As long as you're not doing it to a child, I don't care. Okay? Take all the HRT you want. That's fine by me. But I just don't think it's scientific, and here's why. They gave Chris Chan hormones, okay? He went on HRT for like a year. I don't know if he still takes them or not, but they gave them to him. That right there is enough to tell you these aren't real doctors, okay? They're just willing to give this to anybody. Nobody in their right mind would go, yes, this person seems to know enough about themselves to make the decision to turn into a lady. Let's give them all the drugs they want. You know what? Let's also give them horse tranquilizers. Why not? No reason not to. Let's just get fucking Dr. Frankenstein-y up in here. Really, no reason not to. And of course, it turned Chris into Christine. Here is Christine Weston Chandler's Patreon page, and we do love Patreon over here at Pod Awful. We love it so much, we got banned from it multiple times and built our own. As you can see, Christine, with 18 patrons, making $369. By the way, 18 patrons, $369, not that bad, man. But being as famous as Christine has been for this many years, I would think Christine would have more patrons. Let's check out her video, her intro video for her Patreon, and really get a taste of the new Chris.
We're coming to you live from home with a special Quickville emergency announcement. An emergency impromptu broadcast. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. Typed it up here. Hello there, citizens of Quickville and the internet. Y'all know me? I'm Christine Weston Chandler.
Hell
Formerly
yeah.
Christian Christopher. And I'm the true and honest creator of Sonichu, the electric hedgehog Pokemon, for 15 years. And I've been drawing my books, and for better or for worse. It has affected thousands of readers over the years. This is an updated introduction
By the
to
way.
my Patreon.
Yes. By the way, I hope I don't have to explain who Chris Chan is to anybody. I hope you guys are all internet savvy enough to know. But in case you don't know, this is literally everything you need to know. This image right here, this everything you need to know. And by the way, Christine, looking good. All right. Somebody in the chat said, look at those milkers. I mean, damn, look at the size of this queen. Fuck, man. I'm starting to reconsider some stuff, to be honest. Now, I will say this, though. Christine is a confirmed lesbian male, so she only likes women, okay? There's nothing with guys. I would never have a chance unless I somehow managed to turn trans, and we all know I can't. Not permanently, like Christine has done here. But there's a lot of beautiful stuff going on, and I do like, really, I love that Christine started wearing the classic Chris Chan polo again, the striped shirt. Beautiful. I mean, that is in the Internet Hall of Fame, that shirt right there. Somebody find me an exact copy of this shirt and buy it for me, please. I will wear it on every episode of the show from now on. If you can find me an exact copy of this shirt. I tried to find one. They don't seem to exist. There's some that look kind of like it. There's nothing exact, though. It's really a specimen, and so is Christine herself. I gotta be honest, I kind of want to go on a date with Christine. Maybe I should reach out to Christine and see if I can go to the Sonic movie with her one day. So here's the thing. For those who don't realize this, Chris Chan, let's just say Chris Chan. Chris Chan is the most trolled human being of all time. Nobody has ever been trolled harder than Chris Chan. So can the internet make you trans? If there's a case for it, I would say Chris Chan is patient zero is the most obvious example of it happening. It took many, many years, though, and that's the only thing that makes me wonder. One of two things. Either maybe it's not the internet that did it. Maybe Chris Chan was always trans on the inside. There was always something there. Maybe all that talk about hating hermaphrodites and so on was repressing something he knew about himself inside. And the reason I say that is because the goons we have dealt with that have turned trans did it in a much shorter amount of time. With Chris Chan, it was years. Years. We're talking, I think 2007 is when Chris Chan showed up on the internet for the first time and really alerted us all to his presence. And it wasn't until like 2014 that he officially came out as trans. So that's years and years and years. With other goons, it's months. So either Chris Chan is not actually an example of this phenomenon, or we have slipped further into the clutches of what's known as the dark future. Now, the dark future, of course, it's part of the slippery slope of the world. You know, they always tell you, slippery slope, that's a logical fallacy. Not anymore. Welcome to Clown Planet. Put on your big shoes and honk your nose, boys and girls, because you're about to be trans yourself. If you fell for the Snapchat selfie, you're now a clown, okay? Honk, honk. So that's what's going on here, I believe. I'm going with option number 2. I believe Chris Chan is our prime example of this, and I believe in 2014, and you've heard me say this many times on the show before, I believe something in the world snapped in 2014. Some sort of, let's use a Chris Chan term, dimensional merge happened, and we are now all living in the dark future. I only even became aware of this concept of dark future after the fact. but we are hurtling towards it. And I believe there is some sort of conclusion at the end of the road there, and it's going to be terrifying. You're all going to be making your own unclits soon enough. I swear to God. Girl filter. Oh, snap. I don't do none of that shit. Honk, 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 honk. We got some clowns in there. Please bring Clyde Cash back, somebody. Didn't Clyde Cash come back? I know he died at the end of one of the Chan sagas, but I think he came back to life at some point. I believe he is back. I might be wrong about that. The man in the pickle suit did 9/11. Okay, I love seeing that you guys know all the Chris Chan lore. And I think I've done this before, but can I just give a shout out to a guy named Gino Samuel, who is doing an amazing job at making a documentary all about Chris Chan. Now, we're not here only to talk about Chris Chan tonight. Check out Gino Samuel. We are also talking about the dark future. We're talking about the goons. And I want to be clear that there is a difference here between the internet turning you trans and evil forces on the internet trying to turn you and your children trans. Okay? It is a slight difference. Let me show you the latter for a second. We're all familiar with something known as queer kids stuff. Yes, we've shown this before on the show, I think on Cringe versus Cringe or something. I'm sure you guys have seen it. It is a show for the giant market of gay children on YouTube, I guess. I don't know. It gets a bunch of views, but I have a weird feeling it's mostly adults watching. It's a show made to seem like it's a kid's show, but it's always about LGBT issues and things like that, or just whatever sort of, I don't like saying liberal. You know, I'm not conservative or anything. I don't care. But whatever the liberal, for lack of a better word, talking point is of the week, they talk about it on queer kid stuff. It's usually LGBT. Here's one on transitioning, where Lindsay and Teddy from Queer Kid Stuff talk to a well-known trans activist on the internet named Blair.
Hey, Riley.
Oh, sorry. Wait, why did I say... No, I was thinking of Blair White. Holy shit. Very different. This is the opposite end of the trans spectrum from Riley. Riley is the name of the person, the thing, the they, them. I don't know. We'll learn the pronoun. Let's figure out the fucking pronoun first. That's what you got to do.
Hi.
Hi, Lindsay. Hi, Teddy.
Riley, what are your pronouns and how do you identify?
I use she, her, or they, them pronouns, and I'm a...
That's basically me. If I had a nose ring, that's the same thing as me. It's just a guy with long hair. By the way, you guys have your mugs out there. You guys want to drink some Dr. Pepper with me while we watch this monstrosity happen in front of our eyes, huh? Join the mug club or my dog will die.
A non-binary trans woman.
Riley, I was just trying to explain transitioning to Teddy. Can you help me out?
Sure, a gender transition is when a trans or non-binary person does something...
It's trans, ma'am!
...so their gender identity matches their gender presentation. This can look really different for different trans and non-binary people. For a trans woman, it might be as simple as growing her hair long, but there are lots of things...
See, and that's what I did, and then I went back to being a guy, and I've decided to keep the hair. Is that okay? Are we all fine with that?
...things you can do. Some grown-ups take hormones, either estrogen...
Estrogen.
Whoa, Teddy, calm down. You can take a breath between the...
Or testosterone.
Testosterone.
No, not testosterone. She, listen to me. They just said it. It's testosterone. Why would you teach a kid to pronounce it testosterone? Who are you helping out there? Tyrone?
Got it.
Estrogen helps
Tyrone would not be okay with this stuff. Let me tell you, my tulpa, Tyrone, he would not be okay with any of this. What the fuck is this?
Someone present more feminine, and testosterone helps someone present more masculine, like growing facial hair.
You know what? I need to find a way to really trans into being part of the 13%, the way Rachel Dolezal and Sean King did. I really do, because I feel like I'd be more at home in that community. At least when it comes to freaking out about this.
Trans and non-binary grown-ups might get surgery as part of their transition. There are lots of different kinds of surgery. Usually we talk about top surgery and bottom surgery. Those kinds of surgeries help trans and non-binary people feel more at home in...
Does it help them? I don't know if the statistics bear that out. What with the 40-something% of them? Don't Google John Money. Don't do it. Don't look up the Hirschfeld Institute.
Their
What
bodies.
does that mean? What's a body home?
Some people don't totally feel comfortable with their bodies.
A body home. This is a new one for you know what? Now I'm a queer kid. I'm learning stuff. A body home. Okay, tell me what a fucking body home is. Fat Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, then they should watch our video about body positivity.
They definitely should, Teddy. But sometimes it's
No,
a little
thanks.
more complicated than that. It really depends on the person, but some trans and non-binary people need to do certain things to feel like they've fully transitioned, and others might feel totally happy with their transition just by taking hormones or changing their clothes.
That's right, Lindsay. Some trans and non-binary kids might transition too. Kids who are trans and non-binary can take
Am I the only one hearing spooky music in the background during these parts? Is that in my head? Hang on, let me roll that back again and tell me that spooky sounds like a Halloween mixtape doesn't pop up in the background while what's its name again? Riley starts talking.
That's right, Lindsay. Some trans and non-binary kids might transition
Do you
too.
hear it? It's like let me crank it up a little bit.
Kids who are trans and non-binary can take something called a hormone
It's terrifying.
blocker that stops their estrogen or testosterone, so it's easier for them to transition when they're grown-ups. But it's really, really important to talk to your grown-ups and a doctor about that if you think it's something you might want.
I think.
Whoa, okay. Speaking of transitioning, can you guys figure out how to transition from one shot to the other? You keep interrupting the video. Yep! Testosterone! Oh my god. All right, well, that is
Covered it,
not
Riley.
okay. All right,
I
please,
think
get
so.
out of here, queer kid stuff. I can't take it anymore. By the way, speaking of transitioning, we're going to start talking about another thing here in a second. So, transitions. Oh, I should have just transitions in place, ready to go for when I need to go to a new thing. That was not the type of internet making you trans I'm talking about, though. That's blatantly trying to indoctrinate children, not what I mean. This type of the internet turning you trans is more on it's more of a spiritual level than a mental one, really. It's more something where the internet has degraded a human being down into its primary parts, and the person tries to reassemble them, and they get it a little bit wrong, and it comes out the other gender. They just couldn't figure out how to put their life back together. I don't know. So let's get into some goons. Transition.
We're live
Sunday,
Wednesday, and Friday,
8 p.m. Eastern,
8 p.m. Eastern
at podawful.tv.
at podawful.tv.
Okay, so Chris Chan is the internet's goon, but I've got my own goons. We've got these people we've been talking about on the show for a long time, and a few of them have turned trans, and I kind of think it's for the same reason Chris Chan did. It's the trolling. It's the bullying. I mean, we do bully the internet here. And I do think that I might be a direct cause. I might be one of the exponents, a piece of the equation when it comes to the math problem we're trying to figure out here tonight. So let's go through the goons one by one on which ones have turned trans over the years here. Now, the first one that we're going to talk about is a guy that we actually came up for a term for these people based on this guy. We call him the Bender. Now, you might have seen another episode we talked about this. You might have seen the episodes where we've talked about all of these things before. I just want to go back over this, one, because we've got new people watching the show now, and two, because once we figure out the equation, we're going to weaponize it, okay? We are finally going to weaponize this ability that I believe we have as an internet hate force. Ooh, internet hate force. That's very cool. That's like dregs of society. That's like the fans of hate. That's the piranhas. We're the internet hate force from now on, okay? So this first guy is the Bender. The reason we called him the Bender is, well, first of all, let me tell you this. This is a guy named Adam Barker. He's an Englishman, and he has a podcast. He has a few podcasts. He's very into podcasting, and that's how I know him. He tried to add me to some sort of podcast collective where it's supposed to help you build your numbers and shit. And ain't nobody fucking paying attention to that. I think his podcast is literally called Nobody's Listening Podcast or something like that. Adam Barker Podcast. So I'd followed this guy for years on Twitter. And then one day I'm sitting there and I'm seeing another one of his tweets for the millionth time, and it's hitting me. This guy's got something going on, man. This is before we were aware of this whole phenomenon, too. This is a couple of years ago. I'm sitting there going, something is off about him. Every time he posts something, there's a filter over it. His pictures never looked like this. They never looked like the real him. This big, fat, ugly mong from Britain. So what is it? What's going on? And I realized he's filtering his photos. Now, he wasn't doing the Snapchat lady filter. It didn't exist back then. Instead, he was just filtering out his skin so much that it was smoothing him. He was thinning himself. He was using women's beauty apps, which a lot of you guys out there don't realize exist. These women, they've all got beauty apps that they run all their pictures through before they post them to smooth out their skin, to make themselves thinner, all that stuff. You know, these women with the giant tits, giant ass, and then a waist this small, but it's very clear they're fat, but somehow they don't have a gut. That's Photoshop, okay? That doesn't physically exist. It's impossible. So it's Photoshop or it's one of these beauty apps. This dude was using him. And in a lot of his pictures, you thought we were calling him the Bender because he was gender bending. No. We called him the Bender because in almost every photo, he would be bent over like this. And he'd be staring directly into the camera. Like it was just, that's the normal thing to do, everybody. I just stare right into the camera, bent over for my own photo. I'm in my bathroom, bending for you. Look at me, bending. Hi, everyone. Hello. So that's why we called him the Bender. But then it escalated. I said in an episode of the show, which he saw, by the way, he watched me cover him on the show. And this was after years of knowing him. He never saw it coming. And suddenly, boom, he's a goon. And we're calling him the Bender. And I say in that show, this is before it ever happened, I think he wants to be a woman. I think he wants to transition. I think soon enough, he's going to start wearing makeup. He's going to start doing the whole thing. Well, guess what? Once again, Jesse was right. Only a few months after I made that proclamation, and he saw that episode, he started coming out of the closet a little bit. Adam Barker went from this, an ugly, fat British man, to this, an ugly, fat British woman. And by the way, this is just what your standard English woman looks like. I mean, he nailed it. He does look like some old bird from round the way. He started putting on wigs. He started putting on makeup. He doesn't just do it on the internet either. No, this is his. He's gender fluid. He is both male and female. He'll go back and forth. This is his Twitter account. This is from his Twitter account for his female self, Effie. He calls his female self Effie, and he made it a separate Twitter account at effing beauty. Now, here's the thing. Last time I covered him on the show, he changed all of his Twitter handles. He blocked me on Twitter. He hid his Facebook profile, everything. It all went away. What he didn't realize is I get banned from my profile so often, it doesn't matter. I'll just be back on a new one and find your new shit. It's very easy to find him. So I would say feel free to go follow him for the laughs or whatever. The guy barely even tweets anymore. He's so scared. He's going to end up seeing this episode. I guarantee it. He's going to end up seeing this episode and he's going to go, oh, well, fuck it. I can't be on the internet anymore. And maybe that's for the best. I wish I could have helped him get off of the internet before the internet turned him into this, because this is sad. Because here's what some of you new guys don't know is this is a man with a wife and kids. Imagine dad coming home one day and saying, you know what, everybody, I'm a lady now. Your whole life, your dad was just some big, fat, bearded guy. And then he goes, all right, everyone, I'm going to start wearing your mum's dresses. Horrifying, terrifying behavior. And you guys might think nothing of it. You might think this is not that big a deal. Let me actually see what you're saying in the chat room to see. It's too late. Fuck, he procreated. Do you want salt and vinegar with tying chips? Some people shouldn't internet. Some people should not internet. Thank you, Zen Rhino. You're absolutely right. Zen Rhino nailing it. That's the entire point of what I do on this show. Bullying the internet, it's not to bully everybody. It's to bully the people who shouldn't be on the internet off. I'm trying to help. It's not the nicest way to help, I know, but it's the only way that might work. You can't coddle somebody into getting off the internet, but you can bully them into it. And I believe goons are the people who don't belong on the internet, who can't handle it. It's too much for them. They shouldn't be exposing themselves to other human beings this openly. It just makes no sense. No, it's a big deal, says K-Lord. Okay, I'm glad you say that, because I'll show you why else it's a big deal. Here's his male account on Twitter. Again, he's got different accounts for his different genders. Makes sense. And look at what I found here. Now, he's still tweeting on this one. He wasn't tweeting on the other one anymore. In fact, his new Twitter account is @nottweetingmuch. And even in this one, this is his male profile. He's still bending in the photo. But check this out. Some of his latest tweets. Look at this. Totally gonna catfish someone. And the caption says, #Snapchat has created a whole new level of #catfish opportunities around the world. And of course, he is using the lady Snapchat filter. There he is again. He says, okay, I suppose, about himself with the lady Snapchat filter. So I didn't see this before I made the proclamation on the internet that you should not be using this filter. It is fucking with your head. This is the internet turning you trans. I saw this a day or so ago. I found this. I said, you know what? Let's see what the bender is up to. And I'm always right. I'm just always proven correct by all these things. I can't help it, man. That's my autism, okay? That's my AU gold, is I just got to be right about stuff. And it's a gift and a curse, of course, but I hope this is enough of a warning, enough of a threat for you to go, okay, maybe it's time to close Snapchat. In fact, maybe take it off the phone. Maybe it's time to take it off your phone, because the bender, he's getting off on this. And I believe a lot of these people, they're not really trans. I think there are some people out there who are trans or whatever that is, whatever it is that makes you think you're not the right gender. I still think that's a mental illness. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Mental illness doesn't mean you're bad. Every time they get mad at you for saying it's a mental illness, get mad at them for acting like mental illness means you're a bad person, okay? Lots of people have mental illness. I don't think they're bad people for it. But I do think that not only is this transgender thing mental illness, but I think a lot of the people aren't even that. I think that they have autogynephilia. I think a lot of dudes get off on the idea of themselves being a girl and they jack off to it. My guess is this guy puts on his wife's dresses when the kids are at school and he jacks off into them. That's all. That's all I'm saying about this man with a family publicly. Look, he made himself a public figure. This isn't my fault, okay? GDI is a mental illness. What is GDI? Gender dysphoria? Is that what that is? Is a mental illness. Oh shit, Jesse's on. I don't need to watch Jezelnik and pretend I think he's funny. Thank you so much. Jeselnik's okay, though, in his stand-up. Does he still have a show? Is that what you're watching? Oh, boy. By the way, what's going on? Speaking of bending, anybody seen Jeselnik recently? Anthony Jeselnik. He looks like a different human being. He looks like he got the what's her name surgery, the Renee Zellweger surgery. Has he been bending this whole time? He was on Joe Rogan, and he looked like a completely different human being. All he's done is grown a beard, but his eyes look different. His face looks different. I think he might have been bending. I think he pays top dollar during. Somebody look into this. I need researchers on this, technicians. I need a detective on this. Please pay exorbitant fees to find out if Anthony Jeselnik pays Netflix to bend him in his Netflix specials to make him still look young and handsome. Okay? He's a 40-year-old man. I'm not saying he shouldn't look a little different. I'm just saying he put out a Netflix special like the other day, and then he was on Joe Rogan the other day, and it looked like two different people. And I just have a feeling Joe Rogan doesn't have bending technology, but Netflix might. That's all. Cloned, probably. He looks like Dane Cook now. Yeah, everybody's saying he looks like Dane Cook now. I don't think it's even that. I think because Dane Cook looks different, but he looks like he just got a little older. He got the head fattening. You know, I've got the head fattening going on. You get old. A man gets old, his head widens. I've got that going on. My head is just so wide now. I don't think that's what's going on with Jeselnik, though. I think he's just, I don't know. I think he's been bending for years, and we're just now seeing the real him. He has a new special out on Netflix. Yeah, he's not awful. I just missed the Jeselnik show, though. I'm a bit over the formula of his stand-up. That's fine. He probably grew the beard to hide the scars. Wow. So Charlie straight up claiming Jeselnik has had bending surgery. That's very cool. All right. You know what? I agree with that. Netflix is kind of gay. So that's enough of the Jeselnik theories, though. Let's go to our next goon for our proof here of whether or not the internet can turn you trans. And I'm actually peeking pretty far behind the curtain to reveal this to you guys. Do you remember a fella named the Bad Boy of TikTok? You know, I should have had this ready to go. Let me search for this. Bad Boy of TikTok. Let me see if I can find my video for this. Really? I'm not one of the top results for this. Okay. Really should be. I know there's a lot of videos with a similar title, but there it is. Okay. Interview with the Bad Boy of TikTok. TikTok Bad Boy. Okay. I'll show you this one instead. This is the original video. Guys, this is one of our goons. His name is Eric Martin. He is the Bad Boy of TikTok. Check this out.
So why do good girls like bad guys? I have this question for a real long time. I've been a bad boy and it's plain.
Wait, what the hell? What happened at the end there? What was that?
This question for a real long time. I've been a bad boy and it's plain.
Oh, shit. Somebody fucking edited the video so he pukes on himself at the end. That doesn't originally happen. That's cool. I love that. That's very cool. All right. The internet fucking delivering again. Anyway, so this guy, obviously, this is some AU cringe gold right here. We love this guy, the Bad Boy of TikTok, and we became friends with him. I interviewed him on the show. You can find that episode. I don't know if it's a pizza fund or a free one. You can find at least the preview for it on our YouTube channel. And sorry, that him barfing on himself is really getting me right now. Something about that's very funny. But we had to know more about this guy, so we hooked up with him. He is the reason that we now know Rufio Phoenix. You guys know Rufio Phoenix, right? Rufio is Eric Martin's friend, the Bad Boy of TikTok. This guy is a viral sensation. Well, we know something about Eric Martin that nobody else knows, okay? Because we've had private conversations with Eric Martin, the Bad Boy of TikTok. Eric Martin revealed to us in a $20 pizza fund episode of the show, something we call World War, he revealed to us over Discord that he is trans. Now, I'm going to give out the greatest part of that to you guys here on the free version of the show because I am so kind and so generous, and because it is so funny, I feel like I can't contain it anymore. This is literally something people pay $20 a month to have access to. I'm going to let you guys hear him admit that he is trans for the first time ever in public right here. We're going to put this out to the world. But first, if I'm going to give you a taste of the Pizza Fund, at the very least, let me do this.
Support the show. Join the Pizza Fund. Podawful.pizza.
Pizza.
Podawful.pizza.
All right, guys, we've got well, I didn't mean to put it back on him. We've got brand new content in the $1 level of the Pizza Fund. $1, brand new content, plus 50 more hours worth of content for $1, podawful.pizza. We've got brand new content in the $6 level of the Pizza Fund, podawful.pizza. And we do have an episode coming out soon, hopefully. Last week, our Primo episode was unfortunately aborted thanks to some tech issues. We will be completing that one, and that will be available in the $12 section of the Pizza Fund as well, plus archives and archives and archives of stuff in all of the sections, including the $20 section of the Pizza Fund. We don't have ads. We don't have sponsors. We don't do super chats. We're completely demonetized on YouTube. So support the show, podawful.pizza. We built our own Patreon. Works exactly the same way. All your information secure. I don't have access to any of it. I had another guy build the site. Trust me, I don't even know how to do that shit, okay? Podawful.pizza, support the show. All right, so in the $20 section, this man right here admitted this. And I saw somebody said, ooh, he put on the helmet. Yeah, he must have put on the trans helmet. Take a listen to this. It's incredible. It's incredible. This is one of the most incredible moments of my entire life.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something else about myself that I don't really talk to anyone about. Honestly, internally, I don't feel right being a guy.
Okay, and you hear that typing right there. So we're on Discord listening to him say that. And all that typing is, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what the fuck is happening right now? He just said he doesn't feel right being a guy. That's really Eric Martin's voice. Now listen to this.
Nope, only girls, but I don't feel right having a dick.
What?
That's our good friend Chewy there. So we've got Chewy in there. We've got Scott from Australia in there. Some of our top listeners of the show. Love these guys. And Chewy puts it the best way possible. Eric says he doesn't feel right having a dick. Chewy says, what? Fucking love it. Yeah, Chewy makes this clip.
I know.
They're all laughing at him.
I'm just kind of talking out my ass. I don't know what to say right now, so I just say weird shit, and I say things that are extremely honest to myself, and
yes,
it just comes off really. Sorry.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
There's Mike. There's our good friend Impathor. That's his voice there. Yeah, so he tries to backtrack a little bit. He says, "Oh, I say weird shit. I don't know what I'm saying," but then he says he's being honest. Don't get it wrong. He is trans, okay? He clarifies that. Listen to this.
Yeah, I do too. I appreciate your honesty, man. That's what. Yeah, that's what drives me towards you, man.
Great.
Yeah.
And he just goes silent.
Well, I respect the bravery in you. It must have taken, to share that with us, man.
Does Rufio know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So even Rufio.
Is that related to you guys taking some time to sort stuff out?
No.
Okay, so even Rufio, and by the way, he had a girlfriend at this time, so he's not, he's not gay or anything. He's just trans, and she even knows that he's trans. He wants to be a lady. But it kind of sounds like, if you listen to the full version, it kind of sounds like this is a more recent revelation in his life. And of course, we had been in his life at this point for like 3 months. I have to assume there's some sort of correlation there. There's a trend going on here. I mean, at first it could be coincidence. With 2, it's a coincidence. With 3, you've established a pattern, and we do have a third. We do have a pattern on our hands. But guys, you gotta hear the full version of him admitting he's trans. It gets nutty. It gets way crazier. Plus, you're gonna want to know what he thinks his lady name should be. Okay, it's you'll never guess. You couldn't guess his lady name in a million years. All right, but it's perfect. It's so perfect for who he is, for who Rufio is. Like his lady name, it's so great. The bad boy of TikTok.
Why do good girls like bad guys? I have this question for a real long time.
More like bad girls, am I right? Okay, so there you go. Bad boy of TikTok, also trans. And I think we made him that way. By the way, I saw a bunch of people saying all of that for only $1 about the pizza fund in the chat room. Yes, 50 plus hours worth of content plus a recent pre-show in the $1 section of the pizza fund. Do you have $1? Can you support the show with $1? That's not bad, right? 50 fucking hours plus of content, not fucking bad. It's probably closer to 60 at this point. I just stopped counting. That's all. I give it away for $1. Nobody else does that. Now, let's establish our pattern, shall we? As many of you already know, certainly the pizza funders themselves out there already know this. We've been at it with this one guy for a very long time. A goon of ours named Brandon Marshall, a.k.a. the spiritual smartass, a.k.a. Brandon Have No Balls, a name he gave himself. And that name right there should tell you everything you need to know. We should have figured it out when he told us that his name is Brandon Have No Balls. He chose that. Now, as far as we know, this guy, if you don't know him, he's a guru, okay? He's a Facebook guru. He's one of these guys. He's sort of like a life coach, and he helps you get your business started. And he's part of this pyramid scheme on Facebook where all of these business coaches coach each other on how to coach each other for business. It's too insane to try to explain. We read his book on the show. A lot of episodes about Brandon Marshall on YouTube. Go check him out. But we started noticing this pattern with him as well. And it started off simple enough. You guys might remember the precursor to the Snapchat filter, Face App. Of course, Face App, I think everybody played with this at some point. Face App also could change your gender. And here's Brandon. He's the mealy mouth fish man, this sort of frog creature with the hair of Tintin and the face of Tintin and the chin of Tintin and the body of Tintin. He's this Tintin guy on the left, and of course, he has changed himself into a female version on the right. He did this to himself, okay? Now, I think a lot of us fucked around. I might have done this one. I'll be honest. This is before I realized the nefarious nature of the internet at the time. This is a couple years ago now. The Face App thing came out. I might have played around with it. I don't think I ever posted one. I know I used the same sort of feature to make myself look young when I went and busted that pedo who drove the ice cream truck. You guys seen that episode? I made a Grinder profile and made myself 15 years old or something like that and busted a pedo in my neighborhood driving an ice cream truck. Real thing. Got terminated from YouTube for that video too. I used this app for that. I don't know if I ever did the lady one. I might be pretty straight in my convictions when it comes to that. But Brandy here, Brandon, at this point, he plays around with gender a little bit. No big deal for him. So, when this one came out, nobody thought too much about it. Okay, Brandon's doing the thing everybody's doing. No big deal. Fine, right? But then the evidence started mounting. Halloween rolls around, and I believe Halloween to be a time where a lot of these types of guys start experimenting, okay? Be wary of any guy who dresses as a lady for Halloween. Halloween rolls around one year, and Brandon is dressed like this. Let me show you this on the big board here. Brandon is wearing what appears to be a woman's muumuu, and he's out at a fancy restaurant. Now, he's making a face here as if he's mad about wearing this. But I think that's just a front. I believe that this is just a way to get away with what he's doing here. And I'll tell you why. Because he had no problem wearing this while they were still at home. Now, the caption to this photo read something along the lines of, I was the only one wearing a costume out on Halloween at this restaurant. Something like that. So a classic comedy situation where you're the only person wearing a costume out at a party or out at a public place. But the problem isn't that you're wearing a costume. It's Halloween. I think everybody would be fine with that. The problem is that this isn't a costume. You're wearing your girlfriend's dress. And we know it's his girlfriend's dress because his girlfriend posted the most embarrassing video and photos of all time of them together trying on his quote-unquote costume. And it says here, that she says, this is what a last-minute costume looks like. The interesting thing is, she's not wearing a costume either. She's not dressed as a man in this photo. So let's take a look. A lot of you guys have seen this before, but let's take a look at this. This is his girlfriend. We refer to her as Amy Toomer. Amy Toomer, another goon of the show. She's also one of these spiritual guru people. Also one of these frauds, these hucksters. And she posted this video. Check this out. Look at that. There he is wearing the muumuu, and it's a full down to the floor muumuu. Ooh, you know what I gotta do? I gotta unmute this. I think there's sound to this.
This is Katie.
There we
everybody.
go.
Last minute, Brandon and I are thinking about doing something for Halloween. This is Katie, everybody.
So, last minute, they're thinking about... Oh, hang on.
Brandon and I are...
Let me pause it right there. That's a perfect shot. So, last minute, Amy Toomer and Brandon decide to put on costumes, but he's the only one who puts one on. He goes out wearing the muumuu. She doesn't. She doesn't do anything. And, of course, it pans over to Amy Toomer's roommate, Katie, and she's so embarrassed. Now, why is she this embarrassed over what's going on? I'll tell you why. She knows the truth. The truth will set you free, Brandy. The truth will set you free. I know you're watching this, Brandon. I know eventually you're going to see this episode. Brandy's another one who's going to watch this. If I post this in the right places, he's going to see this. Brandy, the truth is going to set you free, dog. Come out, man. You're trans, okay? You're a lady, and we respect that. We respect that you're a lady. Come out. Make it so Katie doesn't have to feel awkward anymore. You know, if she was in the same room as Caitlyn Jenner, she wouldn't be going, oh my God, ew, oh, this is so funny. She would never do that. She would be thrown in jail for that. So give her the courage she needs to support you in your courageous journey and just come out. Because until you do, it's just a weird thing you're doing on the bed with your girlfriend in front of her roommate. Come out. It's going to be fine. Amy Toomer supports you. Brandy, come out of the closet. It's time. It's time to do it. Of course, there was another video. There's more evidence. The evidence continues to mount. It never stops mounting here at Podawful, the evidence. There was another video, and I think we might have played this one in some sort of after show or something at some point. I don't remember now. But we got to show all the evidence here, or else, we don't have a real point to it. So let's check out this video of Brandy.
Hey, what's up? It's
And-
like a fucking fur jacket.
Yeah, a fur jacket or a feather boa. He's wearing this fuzzy, furry blanket around his neck. And he's just, feeling himself on a Facebook Live video. He's just, just kind of trying out a little costume. These costume guys, him and Steven Crowder, I'll tell you.
What's up? This is Brand Marshall, the spiritual smartass, and I wanted to come in here live, talk about some shit, talk about shame, leaning into just fully owning who the fuck you are and having no shame of who you are.
Wow. No shame, just lean into who you are, and he puts on a feather boa. Okay, Brandy.
Seen this topic come up a lot. You know, so I wanted to talk about it, and it's something that came up during my meditation and something that I shared in my group.
And by the way,
who the fuck is Brandon?
By the way, if you are meditating, you're already a lady, okay? But he's talking about his Facebook group here. Who the fuck is Brandon Marshall?
I shared in my group, who the fuck is Brandon Marshall? If you're not in the group, who the fuck is Brandon Marshall? Get the fuck in there. Like, what are you waiting for?
Agreed. Guys, I want everyone here, okay? Everybody needs to join his group. Who the fuck is Brandon Marshall? A lot of you have already been banned from there. All you new folks, your first time here, you want to have some fucking fun with us? This is what we do, man. This is what we do. We've turned men trans before. Help us make it happen again. Join his group. Who the fuck is Brandon Marshall? Let me skip ahead here to about 2 minutes in, though, when something interesting happens.
Blanket that Rebecca brought to our lovely home. It's not mine. Well, it is mine because it's in our home, but you know.
He's talking about
you know, I had shame around this actually because I would do videos and then I was like, oh, let's get this out of the background. So then I decided to just fucking own it and wear it for a while.
Wow. So he had shame about it. He had shame about appearing in front of something so girly. Now, I wouldn't feel shame if I'm in my home with my girlfriend and she has something kind of girly on our shared couch. That wouldn't be shameful to me. I got girly shit in my living room that's kind of girly, just because a girly kind of touch in a living space is usually what makes something nice. All right? Yeah, I've got plants and little arrangements and things in my living room. You know, some of it's stuff I did, some of it's stuff ex-girlfriends have done. I'm not gonna feel ashamed of that. Something that looks nice in a living room. So the only reason to feel ashamed of that fuzzy blanket, unless you think it's just gross and ugly in general, you think it's bad decoration, and I don't think that's the case, is because you feel like it's making people think something about you that you're afraid they already think about you, and maybe they've got reason to think it. Now, I've heard this term around these parts a lot, around the Revenge of the Cis Guy videos a lot. There's this term, gay ops. I got to be honest with you. I'm not in the loop enough to know exactly what that means, but I'm going to be gay co-opting it tonight, okay? I know that usually you guys don't seem to like whatever gay ops is. I'm going to give you a chance to enjoy some gay ops tonight, okay? Because these ops, they're ops to make a guy gay. It's going to be fun. So not only should you look up Brandon Marshall, the spiritual smartass on Facebook. You type those words into Facebook, his profile will come up. Follow him. You don't even have to friend him. Just follow him. Be ready for his live videos. Find his Facebook group. Who the fuck is Brandon Marshall? Join it. See what you can do in there, okay? Because let me tell you something. We've been doing some gay ops behind the scenes for a long time with Brandon Marshall. We've been calling him Brandy for what feels like a year now. Thinking, we're on the cusp. We know we're on the cusp. I think he just needs one little push. He just needs one little push to get him over the edge. And I think this is the formula. I think this is the trans algebra, the transinometry, if you will, of the situation. Let's add it up. What makes the internet turn someone trans? Here we go. Transduction, yes. Here we go. I think it's one element, autism. That beautiful golden nugget that makes all goons possible. I think you have to be a goon for it to happen. I think you have to be susceptible to this sort of thing. You need to be a milkable lol cow to some degree. You have to both put yourself out there and not be able to take back the criticism you might face. You know, I get trolled constantly. People try anyway. I don't actually get trolled. People try to criticize and troll me all the time on the internet. I've been doing this 10 years. Nothing. Doesn't fucking faze me. Nothing ever happens, right? I'm not a goon. I'm not that level of autism. So I think you need whatever that level in the spectrum is of autism. That's our first component, okay? That plus, let's actually do some, can we do some trans math? Do you guys mind if we do some trans math here on the show? Let's see if I can, all right, let's do some telestrating here. So let me bring up my telestrator, and I'll put that on yellow. I think that'll be a nice size for you to be able to see. Can you see this? All right, hang on a second. So save. Okay, there we go. And all right, so we're going to do AU. Now that's autism. So that's our first part here. AU. Okay. Plus, what do you call that? What is that in a, there's a word for that in math. I'm very bad at math. So help me out with the terminology here. What do you call it when you've got a letter instead of a number in math? Transinometry, they're repeating in the chat room. Niggas drop a like for the for gay goons. Yes, exactly. Everything else Brandon tried has failed. He hasn't tried being a woman yet. That's true. That's a big part of Brandon's whole thing is he's been all these different things and all of them have been complete failures for him. So, okay, we're adding up here. A variable, is that what it is? A variable? So we're adding up, okay, AU, Lopitoff's theorem. That's funny. A variable, algebra. Okay, yeah, variable. That's what I was looking for. Variable. Thank you so much to everybody in the chat room. All right, let's do some trans algebra here. We've got AU. Now, that's the first variable. Plus, I think there does have to be an element of soul searching in there, much like Brandon. He's had all these failed paths before in the past. So I think there's something, an uncertainty principle, if you will. So we're going to do plus question mark. Now, that doesn't mean we don't know what it is. This is a Heisenberg sort of formula here. In fact, we're going to put it in a parenthesis. We're going to put it in triple parentheses so that you know what this is. That triple means Heisenberg. Okay, there we go. So that plus uncertainty principle, all right? This is some telestrating. You've never seen this happen before on a podcast, okay? Now that plus that, and then we've got to times that. I ran out of room, so we're just going to put times, and this is the most important element, times trolling, okay? I do believe the biggest factor in all of this is, of course, the trolling. So we're just going to put this in here, and there we go, and big ol' he, and there's a big troll face for you. All right, so trolling. So AU gold plus an uncertainty within the goon times a certain amount of trolling equals trans. Jesse will suck a dude off just to point out how gay that guy is. Thank you so much, Mike. That's absolutely true. I would be willing to do that. All right, now let me just wipe all of this away, and there we go. Okay, very cool. All right, so we've got the formula. We know the formula. Now here's what we know about Brandon. Brandon is very uncertain about himself. He's been a wigger. He's been a comedian. He's been a PUA, a pickup artist. He's been a dating coach. He's been a life coach. He's been a rapper. He's been a YouTuber. He has been a Facebook guru. He's been all of these different things. And obviously, he doesn't quite know what he is. He's got the AU gold because he's already a goon. What we haven't done properly is we haven't times that by the trolling. Now, we've got these old Pizza Fund episodes where we were secretly going into this plan called Make Brandon Trans, okay? Or as we call him now, Brandy. Make Brandon Trans. And we've been doing it in secret. And we went into his group, and we actually filled his group one night up. There's this great Podawful show, Primo show, where we go after Brandy, and we fill his group up. And I think we truly did chip away at him a little bit that night and made him question some of the things going on in his life, some of his, the way he presents himself. As a matter of fact, he's still talking about this kind of stuff. I mean, speaking of the Snapchat filter, this is a very recent post by him where he says, my newsfeed is just pictures as all my women friends as men. Now I have to rethink my client avatar or some shit. I mean, he's on the cusp of thinking of making himself trans just for his clients. So yeah, that's the reason why, right? What I've come to realize is we can't do this in the background. That's not what we did with all the other goons. We were making fun of them right here, free for everybody to see. Chris Chan, everybody watched it happen to him. That is the level of trolling that needs to happen. Imagine if hundreds of people were telling you you are trans. Imagine that. You'd at least give it a second thought, wouldn't you? Now, you might think, well, we don't have enough people for that. Do we have hundreds? Yes. Yes, we do. I've got another Facebook group for you guys to join, and this, I think, is going to get the job done. And I honestly think Brandy could watch this, and we are going to call him from now on Brandy, okay? There is no more Brandon Marshall. Get that out of your mind. This is now Brandy. Thank you. We could be seen by Brandy. He could watch this and go, okay, they're just doing this to me, then I guess, I'm not going to fall for it. That's not how it works. Don't worry yourself about that. Him knowing that we're actively doing this will make it happen even faster. I'm telling you. So there is a group of hundreds of people ready and willing to make this happen. It's a brand new Facebook group. It's called Make Brandon Marshall Trans. Join it on Facebook. Search Make Brandon Marshall Trans on Facebook. Here is the group, and you can see the picture of Brandy and Brandon at the very top. We've just updated this an hour ago. There's already 870 members in the group. Imagine you're Brandy. Imagine you're sitting at home seeing Pod Awful, and they bring up a group where 800, nearly 900 people, and you guys haven't even joined yet. You guys in the chat right now, nearly 900 people, let's call it 1,000 people, are ready, willing, and able to turn Brandon trans. Okay? That would fuck with your mind big time. That would be a bad case for you. And that's all. We might be able to get more than that. We might be able to do more. In fact, my ears are always open to ideas. So you guys out there, hit me up. If there's any way we can turn this Brandy trans, I'm willing to hear you out on it, okay? That is my goal. It's not illegal to turn a man trans. It's never been done before. No one has ever purposefully tried to turn a human being trans before. We are going to do it. Let's get a chant going in the chat room. Make Brandy trans. That's Brandy with an I. Make Brandy trans. Make Brandy trans. Make Brandy trans. Make Brandy trans. Can we get that chant going? Hashtag bullying saves lives, says Hype Free in the chat room. Guess I'm trans now, quotes Lego. Lego is quoting Brandy Marshall there. Brandy with an I. Very important. Brandy with an I. Make Brandy trans, they're saying. Extra trans, what a beautiful goal. Trans squared, says Poor Sullen Man. It's progressive. It is progressive. It is. We're helping him out of the closet. This is something we believe him to already be. Cheers to everybody out there who is willing to make Brandy trans. Okay, the stream, it's on a delay. Now it's all coming through. Make Brandy trans. Make Brandy trans. Look at that. Beautiful. I love seeing it. Please join the Facebook group. We will let in all your troll accounts. We will let in all of your alt accounts. We'll let in your regular account. Whatever you got. Add as many accounts of this as possible. And by the way, you're going to join it. You're going to see some other stuff in there. Don't worry about that. The group is all about what we can do to make Brandy trans. Let me know in that group any of your ideas. Post in there. Follow Brandon. Brandon Marshall is his name on Facebook. Follow Brandy on Facebook and post in there whenever he goes live. That way we can go into his Facebook lives and go, Brandon, you're trans. It's time to come out. Fill it up, okay? This is what we used to do with Brandon. We used to go into all of his live streams, and then he blocked a lot of us. So now it's harder for us to keep up with what he's doing. I've got accounts now that he doesn't know about. I can get in there. Let us know. Keep an eye on Brandy. This is the new Gay Ops. Gay Ops 2.0. It's never been done before. You're on the vanguard. You're on the verge of something that has never truly been attempted on purpose before. It's a beautiful moment in internet history. Can the internet turn you trans? It's my job on this earth to prove once and for all that yes, it can. Yes, we can. Hope, Barack Obama. Until next time, guys, join the Pizza Fund, podawful.pizza. Get that extra content. We have a premium episode every week on Wednesday on the $12 level. We've got another show every Friday night Hangout Explosion in the $6 level. And as I already told you, we've got many other levels to choose from, including the $40 level. I know that's for the crazy big boys out there. I'm not throwing that out for everybody. But I just want everyone to know, if you are in the $40 level or thinking about signing up for it, the $40 level now is part of the T-Shirt Club. T-Shirt Club members, every time I release a brand new piece of merch, if you are in there on the day of release, and I don't announce when the release date is ahead of time, if you're in the $40 section on the day of release, I will send you a T-shirt included in your subscription, okay? No extra cost. It gets sent to you. Go to your account right now in the $40 section. There's a new section in your account to fill out your information for where to send the T-shirt and your T-shirt sizes. Make sure you do that soon. We have brand new merch coming out very, very soon. The hottest designs we've ever had. You know, I'm wearing Pod Awful merch right now. We've got the cult hoodie going on. I've got the old Wildman Chris design going on right now. We've got the two chests there, the back print, everything. This used to be one of my favorite shirts. The stuff I've got coming out soon, podawful.shop, by the way, where you can get it when it's out. The stuff I've got coming out, I swear to God, there's no better designs on the internet. Nobody gives out better merch than this. It's going to, oh God, I'm so fucking excited to finally show it to you guys. It's hard for me not to just show it all right now. It really is. It's so fucking exciting, and I can't wait to wear it myself. So if you're in that $40 section, let me know your info so I can send you those shirts when they come out. And otherwise, support the show for as little as $1 a month. Until next time, have an awful day.
Head over to podawful.com/iTunes and subscribe to us on iTunes. We're live every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern at podawful.tv. Love the show? Keep it going by donating to the Pizza Fund. podawful.com/support. And anything else you need is at podawful.com.